Do you ever just get stuck in your head and start spinning out of control? Maybe you just looked at your download numbers and you're like, wow, I've been doing this forever and I'm just not getting anywhere. How do all those people really do it? How do all those people get all those downloads? Are they always on their phone? Do they have huge teams? Are they buying their downloads? I feel you, because this is something that happens to me all the time and something that I get stuck in. I mean, after all, I am someone who is an expert in planning and development of podcasts, right? So why do I not have millions and millions of downloads? Well, the thing is that when you niche down, you don't need as many people to make a big impact. And I'm not saying niche down to drive yourself crazy, because let's be real. I'm a multi-passionate and I need different directions, which is why this podcast has changed so much. So if you're over there struggling, wondering why you're not getting tons of downloads, wondering why you're spending so much time on social media while you're promoting and nothing seems to be working, well, I want to let you in on a few little secrets that I've learned to grow my show without having to get burnt out on social media. Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome to Your Podcast is Someone's Life Raft, the podcast that believes every story has the power to be a life raft. I'm your host, Jennifer Dragonette. I've helped hundreds of podcasters find purpose and profits from their shows. In a world filled with so much noise, we're here to explore the art of podcasting with purpose. It's about stories that can inspire, heal, and even provide a cure for dreaded Podfade. I've always believed that your story is a guiding light for those navigating the turbulent waters of life and of their business. We'll dive into the strategies that not only grow your podcast, but allow you to make a meaningful impact and income along the way. Selling through stories, healing through narratives, and discovering the power of collaborative magic that happens when like-minded humans come together. So if you're a heart-centered entrepreneur looking to make tsunamis in the world with your unique message, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Okay. You know that we are talking storytelling, and by now you might already feel like you know me really well. I know that I creep my clients out sometimes by saying things that I know about them, and they swear they've never told me. But I'm like, actually, you have. And you've told me multiple times because I've listened to your episodes multiple times while editing. And here's the thing, is that is what we want for our podcasts, right? When we think about history and the people that we know and how we got to know people and the people that we wanted to spend time with, it was getting to know them, letting them share their stories, letting them share some things about themselves, letting them share their wisdom. Every coach that you've had, even if you haven't gotten great results from them, you've learned something. You've taken away something. Sometimes you take away that I'm never going to do that. I will never teach it that way. And I've had a lot of that, especially when it's come to growing my show. And I honestly have to say it's really easy to get stuck in the overwhelm, especially for me, because not only am I trying to stay in my lane of podcasting and using SEO and networking, but I also edit a bunch of social media managers' shows and people who teach social media. So let me tell you, it's been hard to not get on the trend wagon and be like, oh, I need to be on TikTok to be successful. Have I had people that I work with, their shows have taken off because of TikTok? Yes. Have I had people that I've worked with that their shows have taken off because of Instagram success? Yes. Have I worked with people who we've gotten their Pinterest accounts blowing up and it's blown up their show? Yes. Have I gotten people on YouTube and then just watch their podcast, which isn't really a podcast because now it's a YouTube video, right? Blow up over on YouTube and still stay stagnant over in podcast land? Yeah. The difference is with podcasts is a lot of the places that you're marketing, people don't want long form content. They want that quick hit. They're coming to your podcast because they want to spend some time with you. They might be on social media just scrolling to kind of zone out from their lives. So as you're starting to think about marketing, no, you don't have to be in all these places. And I know this has happened to me so many times. I spread myself thin and I did a shitty job on each platform and got no success. And I know when I first learned about Capsho, I love Capsho. If you are not using Capsho for your copy for all your podcast needs, you're missing out, because it's the only AI that's put the human in AI. And it truly has been a blessing to me and for this show, and allowed me to show up in many different places. But that's neither here nor there. The reason why I bring them up is because when I first started digging in, the great thing about that platform, unlike any other platform out there, is it uses your real words. So it's not like pulling from the web, trying to like make shit up and, copyright things. It's actually coming from your words, which is why, again, they're humanizing AI. It's coming from your transcript. It's coming from your words, but it produces so much content. It gives you copy for show notes. It gives you YouTube posts, LinkedIn articles, LinkedIn posts, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Reels, Shorts. It gives you all the information for all these different platforms. And you know what happened as soon as I saw that? I had to be in all the places and I burnt myself out. Even though it was producing it, you always have to edit AI, no matter how humaning it makes it. You've always got to edit it. You can never just release. Never. It just doesn't work that way. But what I realized as I was going through here is that there are some platforms that I love showing up on. And there are some platforms and some forms of content that I absolutely am not here for. Right now, I am recording in audio only. And you know what? That's my jam. For me, I have found that sometimes repurposing your content takes you longer than actually creating new micro content. So for me, going forward, I'm not going to use long form YouTube videos unless it's an interview. For my solos only, I am fully recording audio only. And what I'm going to do as I use Capsho is recreate some new content. So Capsho is great, and you can do this with or without Capsho. You can ask ChatGPT. You can just listen to your episodes. The best way to do this is actually after you finish your episode, pick up your phone, face to camera, and spill the tea on the juiciest of juicy secrets that are going to make people want to listen to your episode. That face to camera video that you've just recorded right after when you're still excited, now that's your reel to share. That's your short story for Instagram, Facebook. That's your TikTok. That's your YouTube short. And it actually takes less time. Everyone is so into this repurposing thing that I think that it's burning us out, because it takes so much time to go through each episode, pull things out, even when you're using softwares like Descript. Descript's another great one. If you're not using it, you can edit your audio as a Word document, making it really easy to find those filler words. Not the best for audio. I think that there's other programs out there, but it does a pretty good job cleaning up your audio with sound-wise also. But there's all these softwares. And I honestly think that going through, if you have the time right after you record to stop and record a couple of face-to-camera quick videos, quick hit videos for all those short-form platforms, you're actually going to get bigger reach. Because what happens is we go on a tangent. We start saying something and then we go somewhere else and then we go somewhere else and then we go somewhere else. And then all of a sudden it's 3 minutes long and you're like, oh, how do I make this into a reel? 60 seconds, YouTube short, 60 seconds. I have no idea how long TikTok is because I'm not over there. But what happens is that when you get done with your episode, as soon as you get done and you pick up that phone and you record, the juiciest pieces are going to fall out. Does that mean that there's not things that you might miss? No, but while you're editing, if you edit, you can pick those out also. But that's the easiest way. And then you're not having to dig and to reformat and do all the other bullshit. It gets exhausting. And if you are a solo podcaster and you are your own producer, let me tell you, pick maybe one platform to go all in on. My people are hanging out on Facebook because the the crowd, the demographic that I have as my normal, quote unquote, ideal listener, mostly is on Facebook. I like being on Facebook. I'm not a big fan of Instagram. I'm not a big fan of TikTok. I just don't have that drive to make those work. So I've gotten really good at utilizing Facebook groups, and my podcast. And I also put things over on YouTube again, but I don't do all the fancy editing and stuff. I just put it over there and kind of like hope that it works. And I know that it does work because I have one really huge client that is growing like weeds, that gets thousands and thousands of hours of watch time every month, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. And we are actually putting her full episodes up and pushing shorts. So she's getting a combination of all of those, and her watchship is pretty good. But what I really want this to be, which I know I've rambled, but I don't want you to think you have to be on all the platforms. The secret sauce is really talking to other people. There is no better way to grow your show than to network in person, than to go cross interview on different shows, to get to know a human and really create content that connects with the human on the human level. Not create mass content, throw spaghetti at the wall and hope somebody resonates with it. Because I see you over there, because I was you. And sometimes I still get caught in that cycle of, okay, I'm going to take this episode, I'm going to pull clips from it, I'm going to make audiograms, I'm going to make shorts, I'm going to make reels, I'm going to do all this stuff. And it gets so exhausting. What happens is podcasting becomes hard. One of my mentors, she has given up social media other than her Facebook group that she only uses 2 times a year for a boot camp. She does do Facebook ads now because she's gotten big enough this year, but last year she wasn't using ads. So what she was doing was her podcast, Pinterest, her blog, and getting really good at SEO and showing up on other shows. That was it. It was taking her maybe 3 hours a week total for all of her marketing, and she's bringing in multiple 6 figures. I think that as we look online and we go to all the different experts and we go to YouTube University and we keep going and we keep going and we keep going and we keep doing all these things, we think we have to be in all these different places because that's what people are saying. Well, that's your fast track ticket to burnout. And we don't want that. And if you're feeling like you're getting stuck in that burnout cycle, I still have 30-minute free CPR audits. Let's breathe some life back into your business and your podcast. Let's give it a little CPR because there's something in the CPR that's missing for you. Whether that's the clarity, whether that's the passion in people, or whether that's, we need to revive your revenue. One of those 3 things is off. That's why there's CPR audits. I look at your business. It's not a sales pitch. It's a 30-minute call. And what do I get out of it? Market research. What do you get out of it? Your next step to move forward. And I'm really excited about that. So if you're really stuck, this is my jam. Sometimes taking that step back and having an outsider look in and be like, you've repurposed down to where it's no longer fun. You've repurposed down to where it's so saturated, your people aren't understanding. You've repurposed down to you've lost your joy and it just comes out and you're just becoming an infomercial. We don't want that anymore. And if you really, really are excited about revamping your podcast, giving it a little CPR, I am doing on March 18th is when we start. I'm doing a Launch Your Podcast. And this is great for those that are ready to launch or relaunch their podcast because we go through that whole CPR process. Whether you're launching or not, that CPR, that basic piece is the core of what I'm be teaching in that workshop. So if you're interested, the information is down in the show notes. And again, if you're not wanting to do, a group setting thing and you want something free, get a CPR audit. podcastcpr.com, because I want to help you. I want to get you out of this repurposing hamster wheel and get you focused on the things that are actually going to grow your show right now, right here. And we want you to start making a difference because your story, your gifts, your message deserve the microphone And people need what you have, your unique flair on whatever it is. Your niche, your neighborhood, your area of expertise is not too saturated because somebody needs the exact way that you present it. There's plenty of people that do the same thing as me, but my people need how I teach. Same with you. So if you're ready to get off the hamster wheel and stop just throwing spaghetti at the wall to try to grow your show and try to get clear on what it is that you want and how to monetize and make all these things work, then grab one of those two things. Either get in the masterclass or the workshop week on March 18th, the Launch Your Podcast workshop. It's an entire week, but we have 4 main days. We have hot seat coaching in there, which is me opening up my time, coaching you. Or grab a podcast CPR audit. Again, podcastcpr.com. And let's breathe life back into your podcast and your business because it's time. It's time for you to stand up and say, I'm enough. My story's enough. My gifts are enough. People need me, and have that confidence to confidently show up to attract your people back. Are you ready to do that? Because I'm ready to hear your story. I'm ready to hear your message. I'm ready for you to make your impact on the world. So go out there and let's do this.